Welcome to the channel. In this video, we're diving into the world of hidden treasures as we explore the most expensive and ultra-rare U.S. Kennedy half-dollar coins. Some of these silver coins with the P and D mint marks may look dirty or ordinary, but they could actually be worth thousands or even millions of dollars today. So before you spend that old half-dollar, stick around because you might just be holding a fortune in your hands. First up, the Kennedy half-dollar struck in 1976 with the D mint mark is one of the most iconic and electrifying coins in American history, not just because of its face value or silver content, but because of the deep story it tells and the fortune it promises to those lucky enough to discover one in rare form. This coin was not an ordinary issue. It was born during Bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of America's independence, and carries the dual date 1776 to 1976, forever tying it to a national celebration of freedom, history, and pride. When you hold one of these coins, especially a silver-clad variety minted in Denver, you are holding a piece of the very spirit of America's bicentennial dream. The coin itself carries a face that was already legendary. John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, had been immortalized on a half-dollar since 1964 following his tragic assassination. His likeness symbolized youth, energy, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. For the bicentennial issue, his profile remained on the obverse, but the reverse was transformed into something unique and unforgettable, a striking image of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the very birthplace of the Declaration of Independence. This made the coin stand out not only as a half-dollar, but as a commemorative masterpiece. The Denver Mint, responsible for producing the 1976 D. Kennedy halves, issued millions of coins, yet in the vast sea of circulation, there remain rare gems that collectors prize above all else. Some were struck in a special 40% silver composition, making them shine with a luster that base metal coins could never rival. And among these, certain coins carry striking errors, unusual tones, or minting oddities that elevate their worth beyond imagination. It is these hidden anomalies, unnoticed by most, that create the legends of half-dollars worth not just hundreds, but millions in today's speculative collector market. What makes the 1976 D. Silver Kennedy half-dollar so captivating is its ability to blend history and opportunity. At first glance, a coin found in dirty, circulated condition might seem worthless, but looks can deceive. Beneath the tarnish could lie a rarity, a piece struck with unusual die varieties, or a misalignment that turned it into a one-of-a-kind treasure. Collectors know that condition is only part of the story. Rarity, demand, and historical resonance are what truly set a coin apart. Even a half-dollar that has spent decades changing hands can suddenly emerge as a financial miracle. The aura of the bicentennial half-dollar is magnified by the era it represents. America in 1976 was a nation reflecting on 2 centuries of struggle and achievement. The coins struck that year were designed not just to serve as currency, but to serve as keepsakes of that milestone. Families hoarded them away, many never to be spent, and others trickled slowly into circulation. As a result, these coins carry not just monetary potential, but also deep sentimental value, making them highly sought after in collections worldwide. The fascination with the 1976 D. Kennedy half-dollar has only grown with time. Collectors today look back on that coin as a tangible bridge between America's founding in 1776 and its bicentennial celebration 200 years later. Its silver composition alone makes it valuable, but its commemorative design adds another layer of desirability. And when you combine that with the chance of finding a rare variety or error coin, you have the recipe for a life-changing discovery. Imagine the scenario. Someone rummages through an old drawer or a box of forgotten coins in the attic. Amid the dust and the ordinary pocket change lies a grimy half-dollar. Its date reading 1776 to 1976, and a tiny D beneath Kennedy's neck. Most would pass it by, thinking it no more than 50 cents. But the keen-eyed collector or the lucky dreamer knows better. This is not just a coin. It is a sleeping fortune, capable of turning an ordinary person into a millionaire overnight. The numismatic marketplace thrives on such discoveries. Auction houses have seen rare bicentennial Kennedy halves fetch astronomical sums when they display unique mint errors or near-perfect preservation. A double die here, a special strike there, and suddenly the humble half-dollar becomes a star of the bidding floor. Wealthy collectors battle for the chance to own such pieces, not only as investments, but as trophies of history. This is why every 1976 D. Kennedy half dollar deserves a second look, even in dirty or worn condition. Even when its shine is dulled, it still carries the possibility of greatness. To underestimate it would be to ignore the very essence of numismatics, that ordinary objects can conceal extraordinary power. Each coin is a mystery waiting to be solved, a treasure chest waiting to be unlocked. For those who possess such a coin today, the decision is clear: do not spend it as loose change. Do not dismiss it as unimportant. Instead, recognize it for what it is: a potential key to fortune, a piece of history, and a symbol of America's enduring legacy. The 1976 D. Kennedy half dollar has the power to change your life in ways you never imagined. Ultimately, the story of this coin is not only about wealth. It is about heritage, about memory, and about the way a small piece of silver can carry the spirit of a nation. It is about how a coin minted nearly 50 years ago can still stir the imagination and set hearts racing with possibility. And most importantly, it is about hope. The hope that in your hands you might already hold the key to a fortune that could transform your destiny forever. Next up, the Kennedy half dollar of 1980, minted in Denver with the bold D mint mark, is more than just a piece of American currency. It is a fragment of history, a tribute to legacy, and in some rare cases, a key that could unlock unimaginable fortune for its owner. At first glance, one might look at a grimy or dirty half dollar from that year and dismiss it as little more than pocket change, but the truth is far more fascinating. Hidden within the metal, design, and small variations of this coin lies the possibility of wealth and a direct connection to an era of transition in American coinage history. The Kennedy half dollar was introduced in 1964, a year after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy, and it immediately captured the hearts of the American people. By 1980, the coin had been in circulation for more than a decade and had already cemented itself as one of the most recognizable pieces of U.S. money. Yet, unlike its earliest years, when the coin was composed of silver, the 1980 edition carried a different story. It was struck primarily in a copper-nickel-clad composition, but collectors still whisper about special strikes, experimental errors, and unusual finishes that can make certain 1980 D. Kennedy has worth more than gold. What makes this coin particularly intriguing is the time period in which it was created. The United States Mint was shifting fully into modern coin production, and the artistry of coins was beginning to adapt to new methods and demands. Amidst this transition, errors were inevitable: misaligned dies, double lettering, off-center strikes, or unusual metallic toning. For the untrained eye, these imperfections might go unnoticed, but for the collector, they transform an ordinary 50-cent piece into a coin worth thousands, even millions in speculative markets. The Denver Mint played a vital role in the production of the 1980 Kennedy half dollar. Known for its efficiency and high output, the Denver facility was tasked with minting coins that would fuel circulation across much of the country. The D mint mark, sitting proudly beneath Kennedy's neck on the obverse side, marked the coin's origin. And though millions of these coins were struck, only a few possessed the quirks and characteristics that make them legendary today. These anomalies are the ones collectors dream of uncovering in forgotten jars, old wallets, or dusty drawers. The beauty of the Kennedy half dollar is in its dual symbolism. On one hand, it carries the face of President Kennedy, a man who represented progress, youth, and hope during his presidency. On the other hand, the reverse design by Frank Gasparo carries the iconic presidential seal, an eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, radiating both strength and peace. To hold one of these coins is to hold a miniature piece of American identity, one that millions of people cherished during Kennedy's time and beyond. By 1980, this design had become as familiar as the face of Washington on the quarter or Lincoln on the penny, but its aura remains special. Collectors know that history and rarity go hand in hand when it comes to value. While a circulated 1980 D half dollar may be worth little more than face value, there are examples of this very coin, preserved in pristine condition or struck with rare minting variations, that have been auctioned for astonishing amounts. A coin with silver tone sticker or unusual patina, especially in a condition untouched by circulation, can ignite bidding wars among collectors. And when rumors swirl about ultra-rare varieties, the coin's mystique grows even greater. Imagine the scenario of stumbling upon such a coin today. Perhaps you inherit a collection from a relative, or you come across a dusty coin roll at a flea market. Among the ordinary finds sits a $50. Its date reading 1980, with a D mark. It looks worn, maybe even dirty, but something about its weight, its shine, or its errors makes it different. Suddenly, what seemed worthless reveals itself as priceless. That is a thrill and mystery that makes coin collecting so addictive. The knowledge that a single discovery can change your financial destiny overnight. The 1980 D. Kennedy $50 represents not just a collectible, but a piece of American resilience. The 1980s were years of shifting economies, global challenges, and cultural change. This coin was right there in the pockets of everyday Americans, passing from hand to hand, fueling commerce, and carrying Kennedy's memory into a new generation. To discover one today in exceptional form is to unearth a relic that speaks to both personal and national history. It is easy to dismiss modern-era coins as unworthy of attention compared to ancient or early U.S. rarities, but this would be a grave mistake. Many great coin stories begin with a simple piece from recent decades that, because of its unique circumstances, turn into a numismatic legend. The 1980 D. Kennedy $50 falls into this category, a coin from a modern era that still holds the power to astonish. For those lucky enough to own one of these coins, especially with unusual silver hues or sticker markings, the message is clear. Never let it go cheaply. What appears as a dirty or ordinary $50 could in fact be a sleeping fortune. Coin dealers, collectors, and investors alike understand that rarity hides in plain sight, and fortunes are made when someone recognizes what others overlook. The legacy of the Kennedy $50 is one of endurance. Despite changes in composition, minting technology, and public use, it remains one of the most beloved coins in American history. And the 1980 D issue, with its Denver heritage and the possibility of unique varieties, continues to inspire treasure hunters, coin enthusiasts, and dreamers who believe in the power of one coin to change everything. Ultimately, the story of the 1980 D. Kennedy $50 is not just about wealth. It is about discovery, about holding history in your hand, and about the idea that greatness sometimes hides beneath the most ordinary surfaces. For those who look closely, for those who believe in the magic of coins, this $50 is more than money. It is a possibility of a new destiny, waiting quietly in the palm of your hand. Next up, the Kennedy $50 of 1,964 stands as one of the most significant coins in all of American numismatic history. Struck in the immediate aftermath of President John F. Kennedy's assassination, this coin became both a tribute to a fallen leader and a symbol of hope and unity for a grieving nation. What makes the 1964 $50 extraordinary is not only its story, but also its silver content. This was the very first year of the Kennedy series, and it was struck in 90% pure silver, a standard that would vanish just 1 year later. To hold such a coin is to hold a tangible piece of history, crafted in a moment of sorrow, yet destined to become one of the most iconic coins the United States has ever produced. When the Mint released the Kennedy $50 in 1964, the public response was unprecedented. Americans lined up at banks and treasury offices, desperate to own one, not merely as money but as a memorial to Kennedy himself. The demand was so overwhelming that the coins vanished almost instantly from circulation. Families hoarded them. Collectors scrambled for pristine pieces, and the government struggled to keep up with demand. This frenzy alone tells you how powerful and emotional this coin was from the very beginning, and why it continues to hold legendary status today. The version struck without a mint mark in 1964 carries even more intrigue. These coins were minted in Philadelphia, where traditionally coins bore no identifying mint mark. At first glance, one might dismiss it as an ordinary 1964 Kennedy half. But numismatists know better. This is the original, the very first generation of the Kennedy series, the coin that launched a legacy. And when combined with silver stickered tones or unusual surface markings that sometimes appear due to storage and aging, the coin transforms into something extraordinary. Even a dirty, tarnished piece carries the aura of immense value, because beneath the wear lies nearly half an ounce of precious silver and a story no modern coin can rival. The silver composition is perhaps one of the greatest factors behind the allure of the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar. Unlike later years, which were reduced to 40% silver and eventually to no silver at all, the first-year issue is a time capsule of a disappearing era. By 1965, the silver shortage had forced the mint to cut back. Thus, every 1964 coin is a frozen reminder of America's last true silver circulating coinage, and this elevates its collectible and financial value beyond measure. But history and metal alone do not tell the full story. Rarity emerges in unexpected places, errors, varieties, and minting quirks. Some 1964 halves were struck with double dies, giving the inscriptions in Kennedy's features a haunting duplicate effect. Others may carry unusual planchette marks, off-center strikes, or toning so unique that no two pieces look alike. These are the gems collectors fight for, the coins that leap from face value into realms of staggering worth. It is not just about the silver. It is about owning a once-in-a-lifetime mistake, a rarity that no one else can duplicate. Imagine this. Tucked away in an attic, in a forgotten jar, you discover a dirty, heavy half-dollar. Its date reads 1964, and there is no mint mark beneath Kennedy's neck. It looks worn, perhaps scratched, but when you hold it up to the light, the gleam of silver still shines through. To the untrained eye, it is just 50 cents. But to the collector's eye, it is a relic of immense power, a coin that could command hundreds, thousands, even millions under the right circumstances. This is the magic of coin collecting. Wealth hidden in plain sight, fortune disguised as pocket change. The coin itself tells the story of Kennedy. On the obverse, his youthful, determined profile gazes forward, carved by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts with both speed and reverence. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's rendition of the presidential seal radiates strength, an eagle spreading its wings across the coin's silver surface. Every detail was designed to immortalize Kennedy's legacy, and in 1964, Americans accepted this coin not just as money but as a national monument small enough to fit in the palm of a hand. The reason these coins are said to hold unimaginable value lies in the passion they ignite. Millions were minted, but many were melted down during later silver booms, while countless others remain locked away in private collections, never to re-enter the market. This scarcity drives up their worth, especially for those that remain in near-perfect condition or show unusual attributes. Collectors dream of finding one with proof-like surfaces, or an error so rare it defies belief. Those are the coins that can transform ordinary people into millionaires overnight. Consider the emotional impact as well. Owning a 1964 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar is not just a financial investment. It is a connection to a pivotal chapter in American history. It links the present to a time when the entire country was united in grief and remembrance, when coins became more than money, but living memorials. This emotional resonance adds another layer of value, one that no price tag can fully measure, but that collectors are willing to chase at almost any cost. Even those coins in dirty or stickered condition carry their own charm. The patina of age, the silver tarnish, and the markings of time only remind us that these coins have survived decades of circulation, wars, recessions, and shifts in culture. Each mark tells a story, and in some cases, those very imperfections make the coin unique, ensuring it will never be duplicated. A coin like this is not just currency. It is a personal artifact, carrying both history and individuality. For anyone lucky enough to hold a 1964 no-mint mark Kennedy half-dollar, the advice is simple. Never underestimate it, and never let it go at a low price. What may appear ordinary to some can be a treasure to others. The market has proven again and again that collectors will pay unimaginable sums for the right coin, and this half-dollar, bore a tragedy and minted in silver, remains one of the most sought-after treasures in American coinage. Ultimately, the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar, without a mint mark, embodies the perfect storm of rarity, history, and precious metal value. It is a coin born from loss, elevated by silver, and carried forward by collectors who understand its power. And if you happen to find one in your possession, even dirty, tarnished, or worn, know that you may be holding the very key to changing your fortune overnight. This is not just a coin. It is a legacy, a monument, and perhaps your golden ticket to unimaginable wealth. Next up, the Kennedy half-dollar minted in 1991 with the P mint mark may at first appear like any other modern coin resting in a drawer or tucked away in old change, but to those who know its hidden story, it is far more than just 50 cents. This coin carries with it the weight of history, the sheen of silver-toned glory, and the mystique of unexpected fortune. In dirty or worn condition, it might seem unassuming, but beneath its surface lies a legacy that collectors and treasure seekers across the globe crave. It is the kind of coin that whispers of unimaginable value, the kind of relic that can change the course of someone's life overnight. To truly understand why the 1991 Kennedy half-dollar holds such fascination, you must first look at the very origin of the Kennedy series. Born in 1964 as a tribute to the slain President John F. Kennedy, the half-dollar was more than currency. It was a memorial, a tribute struck in silver, and a symbol of unity. Though the early coins were composed of rich silver, by the 1990s a metallic content had shifted to copper-nickel clad. Yet the prestige of the series never faded. Instead, it gained layers of rarity. As mintages grew smaller and fewer people ever saw the coin in circulation, by 1991, holding a half-dollar in your hand felt almost like holding a rare artifact, since fewer and fewer ever reached the cash registers of America. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the P mint mark on the 1991 issue, gave the coin its distinction. While Denver produced its own halves, the Philadelphia strikes carry their own subtle character, marked by the history of the nation's first mint and a legacy of careful craftsmanship. These coins sometimes exhibit unusual features, whether in the way the surface is toned with age or the way small striking errors occurred. In the world of collecting, one small error, one rare toning pattern, or one hidden detail can skyrocket a coin's value from spare change to unimaginable fortune. Collectors are not only drawn to the metallic value or the mintage figures of these coins, but to the stories locked within them. The 1991 Kennedy half-dollar, especially in dirty or tarnished condition, tells of a journey, perhaps spent at the hands of countless Americans, tucked into pockets, tossed into jars, or hidden away in drawers. Every scratch and mark is part of its testimony. And then when a rare variety or unexpected condition surfaces, it transforms into something more than currency. It becomes a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. There's also the undeniable symbolism of Kennedy himself, whose profile adorns the obverse of this coin. His image, immortalized in youthful strength, reminds every holder of a time when America stood on the cusp of a new era. By 1991, nearly 3 decades after his passing, his face on the coin still stirred emotions, making it more than just a piece of metal. Collectors treasure this connection, and it adds an intangible premium that goes beyond the market price. The so-called silver sticker appearance or unusual toning only enhances the aura of this coin. Some examples acquire a natural patina that gives them a golden, silvery, or rainbow effect, making no two pieces alike. To a seasoned collector, such toning is not damage but beauty, proof of a coin's individuality. It becomes not just a 1991 Kennedy half-dollar, but your 1991 Kennedy half-dollar. Unique, one-of-a-kind, irreplaceable. And rarity, combined with demand, is what creates unimaginable value. What makes this coin especially dangerous to underestimate is that many dismiss coins from the 1990s as common or too modern to be worth much. Yet history shows us that some of the most shocking auction results come from coins hidden in plain sight. A double die, a misstrike, a proof-like finish mistakenly released into circulation. All of these small quirks can propel a coin into the realm of staggering wealth. The 1991 P half-dollar, with its quiet presence, is exactly the type of coin that could be overlooked, only to later shock the world with a price tag that leaves jaws on the floor. The dream, of course, is that tucked away in an old jar or resting at the bottom of a forgotten drawer lies a piece so rare that its discovery changes a life forever. Imagine holding what looks like a dirty half-dollar, only to learn that its market value stretches into the millions. Overnight, that single coin becomes a golden key, a ticket to wealth, the spark that can transform your fortune. That is why the Kennedy half-dollar series is spoken of with such reverence, because it hides potential riches in the unlikeliest of places. Even in circulated condition, Even with age and dirt obscuring its luster, the 1991 Kennedy half dollar has power. It holds silver-like shine, a deep story of remembrance, and a chance for the extraordinary. Collectors know this, and the competition to secure the finest examples grows with each passing year. To let one slip away cheaply is to risk giving up a fortune that could have been yours. When you look at this coin, see it not as a mere 50 cents, but as a vessel of hidden wealth, history, and hope. Its beauty is not only in its shine, but in its story, its resilience, and the possibility that it could one day be the coin that elevates an ordinary person into a billionaire overnight. In the end, the 1991 Kennedy half dollar is far more than a coin. It is a piece of America's soul, a fragment of Kennedy's legacy, and a potential treasure chest hiding in the palm of your hand. If one ever comes into your possession, do not spend it lightly. Respect it, guard it, and know that you might be holding a fortune that the world has yet to recognize.